Back here in Nigeria, we did see our foreign reserve hit a 17-year high. Congratulations to Nigeria. However, let's know that that's the gross for it and not the net. Do we have obligations that can bring them down? Can that be sustained? Now, let's have joining us to discuss this the head of research at Sterling Asset Management, Mr. Patrick Ejemudia, here in the studio. Mr. Ejemudia, good afternoon. Should I say congratulations to you? Our foreign reserve is going up
to 51 billion US dollars.
51.
And like you said, it's about
17-year high.
Yeah, the last time was around 2009.
Let's clap for this administration.
No, it's something to celebrate because that is one reason why the FX has been relatively stable.
Yeah, that's the value of the naira.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so but can we say that's over? Because a lot of this is connected to the price of oil. And now that peace is coming between Iran and the United States, I mean, we don't think that extra funds or revenue will be coming in.
Okay, so again, in addition to that, the oil price and that, even though oil price is coming down, we are seeing some level of improvement in oil production. Yet we've not hit our budget in terms of what we put
target,
in assumption.
the OPEC target, 1.5.
No, we passed OPEC target around 1.7. But we've not hit what the assumption in the
real
budget.
One, because you have,
but even at that,
you have the condescent.
Yeah, so it's around 1.5. It's around 1.5.
Okay.
So we are still around the OPEC target. But we've not hit the budget assumption that we put when we reach around 2 million barrels per day. So that we are still off target again in that. But in addition to that, even if oil prices come down, I think the major factor again that is driving it is also the various reform that has been done by the current CBN governor. So you see that has kind of controlled capital inflow. Capital inflow from the Q1 data went up to around 10 billion US dollars, even though it's driven by portfolio investment. We have also seen the structure.
Which is a risk also.
Yeah, but we're also seeing the structure changing. The structure is now moving from traditional equity and money market instrument and is moving towards bond. And that bonds give some level of investment confidence. And of course, if bond investment continues to increase, the overall effect is going to trickle down to us having a kind of increased FDI. So that can again lead to FDI increase. So we are seeing that also playing some level of. Then we look at trade. The policy too has also helped us to control trade. To a large extent, we see our trade coming up to about 34 trillion naira, with a surplus of about 7 trillion. So that has also helped us. So in addition to that, we are seeing what the student. We're also seeing the diaspora remittance. The one that we might not want to be talking about is the borrowing that is also increased too. So
yeah, we don't want to talk about that. But I mean, when you talk about the CBN, we know that this administration, the CBN, did bring changes to the IMTOs and all of that.
Yeah,
and as you mentioned, the diaspora. So all of this is adding up. So can we say of a truth? I know this is our gross, not our net.
Yes, okay. Okay.
But can we say of a truth? We are stable now when it comes to our reserves.
Yeah, so I think what will determine that is the difference between the gross and the net. If the difference is not too large, it means there's still some form of stability.
Because we don't have an idea of our obligations.
Yeah, we don't, exactly. So, but the last time we saw the difference, the net, it was also around 34 billion US dollars.
Yes.
Yeah, so if we look at that and we take it away from, the 51 billion dollars that we currently have, so there's a difference of around 15 or 16 billion. So that difference is not much, and that is part of what is also driving the confidence that we are seeing in terms of the FX.
Okay, so we can say this is one obvious gain from the reforms, yeah? That's what I hear you say.
Yeah.
But Nigerians will say, an average Nigerian, what's my business? How does it concern the man on the street?
So I think the major issue, I think that's another major issue. The major issue is about the duration of which these reforms are going to stay. If exchange rate is kind of stable for a while and business can plan with it, then we can see business grow, then we can see employment, then we can see that touching the man on the street. If all of this reform, if business is growing, we then expect that to drive GDP to grow. And if GDP grow up to the level that we are envisaging it to grow, which is about close to 10 double-digit growth, then we can then begin to see.
Can we finish the 5? I think we're still projecting 4.1.
4.5, yeah, 4.1, 4.5, exactly. So, but again, we need those stability in terms of the reform, then some level of growth before we can then begin to, the good thing, like we started this discussion with, is to say we are seeing some form of positive results. The stability of it is what we'll now be looking out for. From that stability, it will be touching the ordinary.
Yeah, but Dr. Ejemudia, I know it's funny how I remember when the FX policy was coming and then the naira was dropping, and then everywhere you go, everything they connect it to the FX, you know, to so it's because the dollar is there, exactly. But now there's the stability, and it seems difficult to connect it to prices, just like when we saw the drop in global oil prices, and Petron had to come and shout and say, come on guys, when the price is going up,
you were taking your price, now that's coming down.
Exactly. So it's funny how now the naira has been stable for a bit. It's not in the best value. We would love for it to, you know, maybe be under 1,000 or so, but at least it's stable. As you said, businesses can plan, but it's difficult to connect it to prices and to economic activities now.
Yeah, so that's where two things now comes into play. One, the confidence that investors have in the stability. Two is now again it takes some lag for business to adjust, for them to now begin to bring down price. So if they have high level of confidence, then they can now begin to adjust their price downward. But if the confidence is not strong, what you would naturally see is for them to say, we don't know what's going to happen, let's still hold on, because we might still go and buy our input, our raw material at high price. So that confidence is there. Then again, the other point that I gave, which revolves.
Do you see a disruption to this stability with politics? Political funds flow, that one can be very hard. In Nigeria, you know, I know we just finished Ekiti, but we're planning for the big one, and we expect a lot of push coming from that. Do you see that destabilizing what we have?
For me, I think I've said that the narratives have changed a bit. Of course, we're expecting the major campaign to start around August and September, you know, and we have seen that traditionally around this time, even when they did primaries, you would have seen a lot of issues happen around the FX, but we never saw that. So the narratives for me have changed, and I don't think, even though we might see it, the CBN, because of their work that they are doing, they may not just watch the FX to begin to go down. So I think it's going to be relatively stable, with the margin between the official and the black market maybe not too large, because that's what the issues are.
All right, but I mean, we're still waiting this stability to turn to growth, especially at the micro level.
That's what everybody's saying. And that's why I said two things. It has to be stable for a number of time, you know, so that it can begin to hit the ordinary man on the street. If it doesn't stay for so long, and there is a U-turn from this stability that we are seeing, then
are you trying to say we should continue with President Tinubu?
No.
Are you trying to say we stay on this path with the current
policy is about consistency.
But we know in Nigeria, if there's a new captain,
and that's why
most likely things will change.
But that's why we are also now saying that whatever happens, that consistency of policy should be there. And that's what we are preaching at this
All right, Dr. Patrick Ejemodi, Head of Research, Sterling Asset Management, thank you for your time.
Thank you so much for having me.